When it comes to Nicole Kidman's relationships, almost everyone knows about her past, chaotic marriage to Tom Cruise, and how she finally found the love of her life, Keith Urban. However, the actress recently admitted that she had been secretly engaged to musician Lenny Kravitz. If there's one thing we love, it's a secret romance. So we did a little digging and found out everything we could about Nicole's engagement to Lenny, and why things didn't work out between them. There's no doubt that Nicole was left devastated after her marriage with Tom Cruise came to an end in 2001. The former couple had one of the most highly publicized divorces in Hollywood history. Even their adopted children, Isabella Jane Cruise and Connor Cruise, sided with Tom after the split and followed in his footsteps in Scientology. Nicole was left alone and lost after the divorce. For a moment, she didn't know where to turn to find solace after the media storm she had faced.
I mean, I think it was, to be completely honest, I was running from my life at that time. I wasn't able to handle the reality of my life.
So the actress decided she needed a change and space from all the chaos she had just experienced. She rented an apartment so that she could take some time to heal, and her landlord was none other than Lenny Kravitz. After Nicole moved into her new apartment, she confided some of her troubles to Lenny, and soon he became a shoulder for her to cry on. The pair soon started to spend more time together, and over time, their friendship developed into something more, a romance. While we're not entirely sure when exactly Nicole and Lenny started dating, we do know it was around 2002. We have to give them credit for keeping their relationship so under the radar that no one even knew they were together.
He's very single. He's
okay.
What do you
This is awkward.
Did you date him?
Move on.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
You dated him?
Just move on.
We can't blame them for wanting to keep it a secret either. Nicole had just come out of a marriage that had been plastered all over the media for years. So it makes sense that she wanted to keep her relationship with Lenny as private as possible. Since everything was kept top secret between the couple, we don't have an exact timeline of when things happened. But one thing we do know is that Nicole and Lenny eventually moved in together and even got engaged. Unfortunately, things between them didn't work out, and they called off their engagement after a couple of years together, for reasons that we will get into in just a second. So, if their relationship was such a secret, how do we know all of this? Well, during a 2007 interview, Nicole opened up about an engagement with a mystery man that had fallen through. The actress shared that she got engaged to somebody, but never revealed who it was. However, when she was asked why they were no longer together, she responded, "It just wasn't right. I wasn't ready. We weren't ready." She confessed that at the time she realized she didn't want to have a relationship. She wanted to try and focus on maintaining a relationship with her adopted kids, and she didn't feel comfortable having another person come into her life when she wasn't ready for it. She also explained that, "I get engaged and I get married. That's my thing. I don't want to date. I'm interested in a very, very deep connection." So it's very possible that her engagement didn't work out because it was too soon after her divorce from Tom. Perhaps Nicole still needed time alone to process her failed marriage and heal from the heartbreak. At the time, the world had no idea that this mystery man was Lenny Kravitz. In fact, it wasn't until a 2017 press tour for the series Big Little Lies that Nicole finally revealed who she had been engaged to. In the show, Nicole acts alongside Lenny's daughter, Zoë Kravitz. When the actress was asked about working with Zoë, she responded, "I knew Zoë because I was engaged to her father." Naturally, everyone was shocked. Nicole had just revealed the identity of her past mystery lover, and nobody would have expected that it was Lenny Kravitz. Following the actress's jaw-dropping confession, Zoë was asked about her relationship with Nicole. Zoë shared, "I hadn't seen her in a long time before Big Little Lies, but there was a point where we were all kind of living together," she added. "I was about 13 and she would take me to see movies. She was so nice to me."
She was always so nice to me, and I hadn't seen her since I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
And but she was always so sweet to me, so it was nice to see her again. And then she's also very professional, so it was not weird.
So while things didn't work out for Nicole and Lenny, it's clear that their relationship even had an impact on his daughter. We can only imagine that things were pretty serious between the former couple, considering they had lived together and she was spending time with his child. Nicole even said, "It's all in the family. I love Lenny. He's a great guy." What's more, Kidman wasn't the only one who said nice things about her former fiancé. Just a few months later, Lenny was interviewed and asked about his history with Nicole and his thoughts on her spending time with Zoë. The musician shared, "Nicole is amazing. Zoë and she hadn't spent time together since she was younger, since Nicole and I were together, so that was great. So, whatever the reasons may have been for their split, both Lenny and Nicole remained on very good terms after their split."
Some things just don't work, but the wonderful thing is that we're all friends.
Back in 2013, the former couple bumped into each other at the CMT Music Awards, said hello, and even posed for a photo. Nicole was there with her current husband, musician Keith Urban, and when the three of them snapped a picture together, it seemed like there really was no bad blood between any of them. Both Kravitz and Kidman clearly maintained a huge amount of respect for each other after their engagement fell through. And if you ask us, it doesn't get better than an amicable and friendly breakup. Even though their romance didn't stand the test of time, one great thing did come out of Kidman and Kravitz's time together: a lasting friendship. As it turns out, it wasn't long after her split from Kravitz that Nicole met Keith Urban. The actress was immediately smitten by the country singer, and he was totally taken by the actress's grace and poise. Once they started talking, things really clicked. They exchanged numbers, but Keith was so convinced that Nicole wasn't interested in him that he didn't call her for 4 months.
I was like, there's no way this girl is interested in me at all. So someone had given me her number. I couldn't bring myself to call that number.
Thankfully, Keith plucked up the courage and finally made the call. Their romance was instant, and it was just a month later that Nicole knew that he was the love of her life. She described their love as intense and that she fell hard and fast for the singer. It was only a year later that Keith proposed, and they were married in 2006. Even though they hadn't been dating each other for very long, it wasn't something that bothered her at all. In fact, the actress shared, "I kind of like getting married and then getting to know each other. I know that it sounds incredibly strange, but to me, it's a more natural process." Over the next few years, the couple welcomed 2 beautiful children together: Sunday Rose Kidman Urban and Faith Margaret Kidman Urban. Although they've had to face quite a few bumps in the road through their marriage, the couple has remained strong, bonded, and incredibly supportive of one another. The actress was able to help her husband on his journey to overcome addiction and live a life of sobriety. He was there for her while she struggled with infertility and the tragic loss of her father.
He has been so good to me, for 9 years, but for the last sort of month, which has been a really tough time for me, to have, when you have your partner who just literally carries you through a tough time,
They were there for each other through thick and thin and never gave up on their love. The most important question of all, how do they keep their love alive, making fans swoon over their adoring photos and wish they had their very own Country Meets Hollywood romance? Well, despite their crazy work schedules, they've never spent more than 7 days apart from one another. It sounds impossible considering the months other couples have had to spend apart being in the entertainment industry. But too much time apart for Nicole and Keith is an absolute no-go zone. The actress explained that they stay very, very connected, Skyping and talking on the phone several times a day. She even confessed that Urban would leave her a love letter for every night he was away. If this gesture doesn't make you raise your standards of love and romance, we don't know what will.
just our favorite. I mean, he's my favorite person, so yeah, truly.
I understand why.
Sonny and Faith, and
It's important
and
to
Keith.
like who you
Nicole revealed that their secret to a happy marriage is to always make time for one another. She said that when she's not working, she dedicates herself to her family, adding, "Keith and I are very good at immediately clicking off because we have a really good life in Nashville that's very simple, quiet, and nourishing because we've made it like that." It seems as though Lenny was able to give Nicole what she needed to heal from her divorce from Tom, which was undoubtedly a tough thing for her to have gone through. He was there for her when she needed support, but most importantly when she needed a friend. So, while we do think that Nicole and Lenny would have had an epic Hollywood romance, if things had worked for them, we wouldn't have had the ultimate romantic couple that is Nicole and Keith. Be well and be kind.